Okay, so the second big piece here is on how we control our corridors is parametric constraints. So these, if you remember back to our template discussion, these call back to the labels we put in our template. So for example, if we put our ramp, our ramp shoulder width, we said it was 6, but we put a label in there that said, ramp shoulder width, this is where we can change those default values, is using these parametric constraints here. So what I'll do an example here is I have my ramp. This is my edge of shoulder, but I don't have a shoulder displayed. But I did put a switch in my template to turn on the shoulder. So we can go ahead and activate a switch here. So I'll go ahead and add new. The same box pops up. I want my shoulder to go the whole ramp alignment. So I'll hit Alt to lock to the start and the end. This is where all our labels come down. This one's kind of hard to do from the drop down. So we can go over here and see, this is a list of all the labels that are in our template. Some shoulder slopes, thicknesses, some widths. And here are the switches we've made down here. So I can go to the switch. This is again where naming is important. So this is the left end condition. So this should have the shoulder and everything in it. So we can select this one and our values. So this will always pop up with whatever is listed in the template. So our switch is off, so it's just labeled as 0. And in our display rules, we set the switch to turn on when this value is 1. So we can go start is 1 and end is 1. For switches, you'll always do a start and stop as 1 if that's the way you set them up. For other things, we can do, if we wanted to vary a slope for a tie-in, you can do 2 different. You can start at 2% and end at 3%. It will transition between the two. It will do the math and make a linear transition. So it's useful for tapers or slope transitions, stuff like that. So I'll go ahead and activate that. That'll turn on our switch now. Our little grading piece, the shoulder, it all popped in there. And we've turned on that switch. So it's now listed here. These are a couple of ones I made previously, but here's our switch for the left. We can come right back into into our bucket tool here, and we can turn it back off. We can turn it back on. Once it's in there, it's in there. And we can do the same thing for other switches. If there was kind of a linear transition, we can add that in here. Usually that is done easier using point controls, but there's kind of a quick example of adding a parametric constraint to the corridor. So Sahar, you can go ahead and end this one.